Quickly, what are two things that you think the iPhone 7 could have been better at? You might have said battery power and maybe storage capacity. Even if one of those things crossed your mind, you need to check out the Kuner Kuke Smartcase. It has a spare battery in it, but it also has a MicroSD slot, so you can improve the storage capacity of your iPhone. So it's great for people who take lots of videos, like I do. I'll be honest with you, the Kuner Kuke is one of the coolest things I've used for the iPhone lately. I'd have to kind of put it below the Apple AirPods in terms of its usefulness. However, despite all these extra features, there are a couple of things that I found a bit lacking, and the extra storage, the software actually, isn't as slick as I would expect for something on my iPhone. For my Kuner Kuke review, I've given this case a score of 4 A's out of 5. The Kuke score is just a bit higher than the regular Apple Smart Battery case, as well as the Mophie Juice Pack Air. Now there is a difference in terms of the scoring, as the Kuke isn't as tough as the other cases, but the extra functionality offsets that poor protection. In fact, it's actually kind of hard to compare the Kuke case because, well, it just offers that much more functionality than just, a plain battery case. If you want to see what I think about the Apple Smart Battery case and the Mophie Juice Pack Air, check out those videos. If you know somebody who needs more power and more storage, tag them in the comments section below. If you need the full review, check out the link in my bio.
Real usage, real reviews. mobilereviews-a.ca.
At mobilereviews.a.ca, we base everything we do on actual usage, which is more fun than regurgitating marketing fluff. And really, at the end of the day, we're asking the question, if we weren't reviewing cases, would we buy this? And the short answer is probably. We'll spend time looking at the product page and, marvel at the poorly translated English words. For me personally, the most useful place that I found this case was actually at the gym, where I constantly film myself to critique my form. And sometimes I end up mashing my crotch with a barbell. Now for design, the Kuke Smartcase is smaller and slimmer than the Apple Smart Battery case. It weighs less, but still has a slight bump on the back of the case. Installation of the iPhone in the Kuke is simple, as you peel the top back and slide the iPhone in. I will say that the top flap isn't very rigid, and that kind of bothers me a bit because the top of my iPhone is a little more exposed than the rest of the device, and it's very, very pliable, and I've got fidgety fingers. The thickness of the case is quite average at 13 millimeters, but it is slimmer than other battery cases I've reviewed. The entire case is covered in silicone, so it provides great grip for your hand. It's not as grippy as the Apple Smart Battery case, but it will still prevent your iPhone from sliding around. The case wears well over time, but it will become a magnet for pocket lint and dust. Now, in general, this case will not provide a lot of protection for your iPhone. It's very, very thin. It's a small case, so in my opinion, it would protect your iPhone maybe from an accidental drop. It'll definitely protect your iPhone from the everyday scratches that may occur in your pocket, but it's like the least protective case out of the few that I've reviewed, for battery cases anyways. Screen protection is almost non-existent with this case, as an iPhone with a screen protector will extend past the edges of the case, so if you're planning on getting this, make sure you get a screen protector. And as a side note, this case does work with an edge-to-edge screen protector made by Evolutive Labs. I didn't have any issues accessing the iPhone inside the Kuke Smartcase. Buttons are easy to press and the iPhone can be synced through the case, though you have to go through an extra step of telling the case to sync the iPhone and not the microSD card. Now, functionality is where the Kuke shines. The battery portion of the case isn't special, as it will provide over 50% extra power to the iPhone. Unlike the Apple Smart Battery case, the percent charged for the case doesn't show up in the battery widget. So it uses the standard and boring, kind of useless, 4 LEDs to show you how much power is left in the case. The coolest part of the case is the expansion slot. The case can take a micro SD card with sizes up to 256 gigabytes, which is awesome, but the electronics store in my city didn't have any in stock. The closest was a $100 200 gigabyte card. So in reality, you have to do a cost-benefit analysis, we'll say. The stock iPhone 7 in Canada is $900. The grandiose version with the 256 gigabyte option is, I think, $1160. So it's a $260-ish difference. This case is either $60 or $99, depending on if you're getting it on sale, and the card itself is $100. So that entire package could cost $200. For the extra $200, you get extra battery power, and you get 232 gigabytes of storage. Or you could spend $260 and get a regular iPhone 7 with the 256 gigabyte storage solution. So if you are honestly looking for extra storage, you might not want to get a case to bulk up your iPhone. That's just something to consider. Though with this case, you get that extra flexibility, is that you can spend another $100, get another card, and now you've got like 432 gigabytes worth of storage, which is almost as much as my laptop now. Installing the microSD card is quite simple, but the entire setup does feel flimsy, so you have to be careful with it. Accessing the microSD card is simple once you've done it once. I wasn't quite sure what I was expecting. I was expecting to plug in my iPhone to my computer and stuff would just show up, but it doesn't. You do need to access Kuner's own app to tell the case what to do. You have two options when connecting to your computer: sync your iPhone or sync the microSD card. Now for me, my MacBook Pro does recognize the microSD card as just a normal drive, which is great. You can access all the contents on the disk and even load more data onto the disk. This is great for movie viewers, and I'll elaborate in a few seconds. As a side note, you can also access the card without having an iPhone installed in the case, which is nice. Now, accessing the microSD card on the iPhone isn't as slick as I thought it would be. Everything you need to do needs to be done through Kuner's app, which you have to download from the App Store. You can shoot videos and directly to the case, which is handy, or you can import them, which basically duplicates the videos from your camera roll onto the card. Now, one of the things I did check was if you've got an old DVD collection and you don't feel like spending another $20 through the Apple iTunes store to pay for something that you already have, you can rip it, and you can, instead of having to sync everything through iTunes, I find syncing movies through iTunes or non-iTunes movies through iTunes incredibly painful. You can easily just load the movie onto the SD card, and then your iPhone will automatically play, or the iPhone can play those media files, which is pretty handy, in my opinion. Now, my biggest gripe when it comes to the storage portion of the case is that it feels very rough. Certain things are misspelled. It's as humorous as the misspelling or the misrepresented words on their website. The UI seems a little rough. It doesn't seem that user-friendly, but it does get the job done. Again, if you use it once or twice, you get the gist of what they're trying to do, and then you can just keep using it. So overall, this is a pretty cool case. I love that expanded functionality of the product. This is one of the very few things that I've been excited about over the last few weeks in terms of products that I've reviewed. It's on sale right now, I think. If you go to kunercase.com, I think that's one of their websites. It's $60, which is a steal of a deal for an extra battery case. Even if you don't use the battery case all the time, like $60, it's an easier pill to swallow than like $100 for the Apple Smart battery case. So that's kind of all I got. Is that all you got, buddy? You have anything to say about this case? No? At least look at the camera and tell them something. Monty's got nothing.